This is the new Chopard Mille Miglia watch. Welcome back everyone to another episode, and today I have the absolute pleasure of showing you the new Chopard Mille Miglia watch. But before we talk about the watch, let's talk about the Mille Miglia race. The race was founded in 1927 and the route goes from Brescia to Rome and back, 1,000 miles through the landscape of Italy, visiting different kinds of villages along the way. Over 400 drivers compete for this race, and this year, 2022, was the 40th edition of the actual race. The cool thing about this race is that the cars that are in the race have to have been produced before 1957. Similar model types have to have been registered or actually driven one of the original races. Overall, it's a very scenic, beautiful race with fantastic cars. Overall, a nice drive through the Italian scenery. As I already mentioned, this year's race is the 40th edition of the race, and it is also the 35th year that Chopard is sponsoring this particular race. With that being said, there is a new watch. Actually, there are two, but we are going to focus on the steel version of the watch. I've talked a little bit about the race. We have a great overview of what the race is, and now we're going to talk about the actual watch. And this is the Chopard Mille Miglia 2022. It's a beautiful chronograph with 44 millimeters in case diameter. It has a COSC certified movement with 48 hours of power reserve. It's 100-meter water resistant and has a very cool hybrid watch straps made from leather on top and rubber on the bottom. The watch is obviously motorsports themed, as you can clearly see from the chronograph pushers. But also on the crown you have a nice little detail showing the inspiration from vintage cars. Overall, I personally really like the blue bezel. It looks cool. It matches very nicely with this silver dial, and of course the yellow greenish lume that's on the indices, and of course on the hour and minutes hand. Overall, in terms of size, obviously it's a bigger watch, but still I didn't feel that the watch was very uncomfortable. It's actually a very comfortable watch. I have been wearing my father's Mille Miglia. He has a very nice one with a black coating on it. If you have the right strap and the watch sits nicely on your wrist, even then bigger watches will feel quite comfortable. As I mentioned earlier, there is actually a second watch. This second watch is very similar to the actual piece that I've just shown you. It is limited to 250 pieces and it is made from steel and gold. The difference between the actual piece here right now and the second version is that the pushers of the chronograph, the crown and the bezel are made out of gold. I personally really like the whole aspect and the combination between vintage cars and watches. It's a very, very cool mix, and I feel that there is still a lot of cool designs out there that we will see on watches in the future. For me personally, the watch might be a bit too big. I feel that the color of the dial is not my favorite color. For other people out there, maybe for you, this will be the right piece. Overall, the watch sits great on the wrist. There's nothing to be said about that. It has a COSC certified movement, which is fantastic too. It's 100-meter water resistant, so overall you can do a lot with this watch. That being said, all the links to the watch will be down below. And as always, if you feel like it, put a thumbs up and we will see each other in the next episode.